If your history book looks like a thriller, you're reading about Cannibal Island. This is not just a chapter in history, it's a chilling tale of human suffering and the extremes of survival. Imagine flipping through the pages and finding a story so dark it feels like fiction, but this is no novel, it's a grim reality that unfolded in the heart of the Soviet Union. In 1933, Stalin's brutal regime exiled thousands of undesirables to Nazino Island. This was part of a larger plan to cleanse Soviet society of those deemed unfit. The island, located in the remote Siberian wilderness, became a dumping ground for the unwanted. Stalin's iron fist spared no one, and the consequences were catastrophic. These were people deemed unfit for Soviet society, peasants, petty criminals, the unlucky. They were rounded up, often without trial, and shipped off to this desolate island. Many were ordinary people caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, victims of a regime that saw them as expendable. Their only crime was being deemed a burden to the state. Dumped on the island with no provisions, their struggle for survival quickly turned into a nightmare. The authorities provided no food, no shelter, and no tools for survival. The deportees were left to fend for themselves in an unforgiving environment. The island, surrounded by icy waters and dense forests, offered no escape and no hope. The island became a living horror show. The initial shock of abandonment soon gave way to desperation. People scavenged for anything edible, but the island was barren. The lack of resources led to chaos and violence. The strong preyed on the weak, and the social order collapsed. It was a descent into madness. Starving and exposed to the elements, people resorted to unspeakable acts. The harsh Siberian weather took its toll, and many succumbed to hypothermia and starvation. Those who survived faced a grim choice: starve or turn to cannibalism. The island's isolation meant there was no hope of rescue, and the deportees were left to their own devices. Cannibalism, yes, you heard right, became a grim reality as people fought to survive. The breakdown of social norms led to horrific acts of violence. People turned on each other, driven by an all-consuming hunger. The strong overpowered the weak, and the island became a battleground for survival. It was a descent into the darkest corners of human nature. The strong preyed on the weak. In this lawless environment, might made right. Those with the strength to dominate did so without mercy. The island became a microcosm of brutality where survival of the fittest was the only rule. The weak had no chance, and their bodies became the sustenance for the stronger. Bodies piled up, and the stench of death hung in the air. The island became a graveyard with corpses littering the landscape. The dead were left where they fell, and the living had to navigate through a sea of decay. The smell of death was inescapable, a constant reminder of the island's horrors. This wasn't just about survival, it was about the very essence of humanity being stripped away. The island's conditions reduced people to their most primal instincts. Compassion and empathy were replaced by a ruthless drive to survive. The deportees were no longer seen as human beings, but as obstacles or resources. It was a dehumanizing experience that left deep psychological scars. Authorities tried to sweep this atrocity under the rug, but the truth eventually surfaced. The Soviet regime went to great lengths to cover up the horrors of Cannibal Island. Documents were destroyed and witnesses were silenced. But the truth has a way of coming to light. Survivors' testimonies and historical investigations eventually revealed the full extent of the atrocity. The world learned of the horrors faced by those condemned to this forsaken place. The revelations shocked the international community and highlighted the brutal nature of Stalin's regime. The story of Cannibal Island became a symbol of the suffering inflicted by totalitarian regimes. It served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the human cost of political oppression. Nazino Island stands as a stark reminder of the depths of human desperation and the horrors of unchecked power. Today, the island is a somber historical site, a place of remembrance for those who suffered and died there. It serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of remembering the past to prevent future atrocities. History buffs, remember this? The past holds dark secrets that shape our present. The story of Cannibal Island is a powerful reminder of the importance of studying history. It teaches us about the consequences of political extremism and the resilience of the human spirit. By understanding the past, we can work towards a better future. Let's not forget the souls of Cannibal Island. Their suffering and sacrifice should not be forgotten. They are a part of our collective history, and their story deserves to be told. By remembering them, we honor their memory and ensure that their suffering was not in vain. Thank you for watching. Follow for more hidden histories and forgotten nightmares. Stay tuned as we uncover more dark chapters from the past, shedding light on the stories that shaped our world. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light.